Hey YouTube, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. And first let me say oi to the bang, vasas los, bonjour mes amis, konnichiwa, ni hao, ni hama, kedu bawani. I would like to apologize to you all for this. This is the third time I'm putting this up here. And two, I put the wrong video up. The first time I put it up, YouTube had a copyright problem, so I redid it in order to get rid of that and still put up the wrong video. And so this is going to be the correct one. The other thing too is the first two times I did this, I was kind of being disturbed by a dog, as you heard on one. And I wanted to do this in such a way because I'm mentoring a boy, and in this particular story, he some of the times he sits up and he liked to watch me do these stories on some videos. I will allow it. This was not one of those videos, and you can plainly see why when I get into the video a little more, for those of you that don't know, and for those of you that know already, well, y'all know. Alright, so I ask you to forgive me for placing, deleting, and putting it up again. But basically, and for your information, when I do these what I put up in there are notes that I think that y'all would need to know, which is why I leave proper names and kind of where I got this from, and that's so that y'all could do research. And so the video I got from Global, and if you can speak Portuguese, go look at it there. But my story isn't that video or trying to promote this video, promote her per se. But she and her story speaks to the plight of black men, especially everywhere. How our women have been so manipulated to actually hate the beauty that is them, even when they're considered beautiful and win beauty contests. They still will not give black men credit. Remember, Michelle Obama in the White House says, as a single black mother, why would she have that in her head when she was never a single black mother? I mean, never. All right. When asked what occupation she would get, she said Beyonce. All right, so look at the black woman in the United States. Now look at who her husband is. The president of the stupid United States of America. So all these black women who have an argument that, well, the black man has no power. All right, that's a black man that has the most powerful office in the world and yet still gets respected by the black woman. You've never heard that from a white president's wife berating him. Laura Bush had class. I don't care what you say. Both Bush wives had class as women. They were feminine as women. I don't care what you say about the way they look. Actually, Laura Bush was pretty. George Bush, the second one, his wife was pretty. She was good looking. She wasn't no, she wasn't a troll, right? And Bush 41, his wife was just old, but they both had class. Nancy Reagan, class. So when Michelle Obama, I got up there, I thought she was going to have class. All right, but at the end of the day, it is that they have been so programmed to hate black men that even when he's the most powerful one on earth, they still say stuff like, as a single black mother, and this man been raising and taking care of them children and having a job and supporting her and the children, and she up in the White House. You see what I'm saying? Well, what the Portuguese did is they put out the roadmap as to why stuff like this happened with black women and black women only. So white women don't do it too. All right, and this is the story about Nayara Justino. Remember when I did the first video, okay, and about the backlash she got. And keep in mind, this is a very beautiful woman. All right, a very beautiful dark-skinned woman, a fine woman. All right, and her backlash came as a result of her choices from the people that backlashed her the worst. Now, for a while, we were thinking, or at least I was thinking, that it was the white people that came out against her. No, the white men was pushing that. It's because she pushes a certain narrative. She keeps the black Brazilians reminded that they were slavery. Is because she takes slave roles in this globalizer that she finally won and got to do. Well, you're going to take a look at what it is. Okay, and it's women that do the samba, but they show off their body. And notice that she says it's the amount of prejudice against women, not the people as a whole, but against women. So people didn't like her black skin. So she said it's prejudicial against black women, as if it wasn't a black man that produced that black skin on that black woman. That's the same idiotic stuff that these black men and women say about, well, black women, the seed came from the black woman, and everything comes from the black woman. All right, and they need to go get out of here and stuff like that. That's tantamount to treason to men. Is because the seed starts everything. That the seed starts everything. All right, everything comes from the seed. Remember, the man has the X and Y chromosome. The woman does not have a Y chromosome, so they can't start crap. All right, the man. Everything comes from the man. The seed comes from the man through the woman. And you're an idiot if you want to, and you're an idiot simp. There is simps and there's an idiot simp. All right. So, again, when I first heard about this story, and just from some of the comments I got of you guys, we was kind of feeling sorry for this woman. But as we progress through this video, oh, she gets no sorrow from me. All right, I was really thoroughly disappointed to see what all of the fuss was about. At first, I thought she won a beauty pageant. All right, so, and I wrote this up here so that you can see my intent when I put the first thing out there. Now, there was a guy talking about, oh man, I was talking about black beauty, and that's how I came up with her. I was looking at Brazil, and I was talking about black beautiful women and how they're everywhere. And then because she won this contest, she was put on the map and showcased, and her picture came up. So I came across her picture before I came across the whole story, right? And in the video that I did first featuring her, it was all about how beautiful black women are if they stay natural. So I didn't care who she was married to, is because regardless of who she was married to or who her boyfriend is, it doesn't mean she's not beautiful. She might be ratchet, but it doesn't mean she's not beautiful. I don't consider black women beautiful that have a whole bunch of white people's tattoos all up and down their skin and stuff. This woman got beautiful smooth skin. There ain't there's no tattoos on it or anything. She got her real breasts. That's a real booty. Everything on her is real. So that's beauty. All right. But then when I found out what the global laser was, and I was like, oh man, that's not a beauty pageant. She ain't nothing but a glorified stripper for the white Portuguese slave mentality. And I'll get into that in a minute. Now, he said everything was going great and things start happening that it was not so much fun when people start seeing the picture. Right? Now, please pay attention to those producing and backing this woman. White men. This is Portuguese. Now, black people, understand this. You are white if you are of European descent. Right? That's what the term white means. Black is anybody of Afro or Asiatic African descent. And then you have Mongol, that would consider people that are of like Chinese, Japanese, what we would call Oriental descent, right? And then Native Americans, which still are of Mongol descent. The natives in the United States were Africoid first, so there were people of African descent here before the Native Americans of Mongoloid descent, and that would be like the Apaches and stuff. They came later. Alright, so the Africans and the Mongols were the first. African descent and Mongol descent, in that order, were here on the U.S. first. Then white people or European descent, right? So, go back to geography class and learn that Portugal and Spain is in Europe, which means that if somebody is Mexican or Portuguese, they're white. All right. And so this was what they're pushing, right? And these are the people pushing it. So no black people were pushing it. So I want you to understand some things, right? So as we continue, so Naya Justino, all right, and her first soap opera was called Slave Mother, and it was quote unquote what her ancestors went through. All right, and so this is why black people can't move up, is because they are always pushing these black women to remind us that we are still slaves to them. And this in Brazil would be the Portuguese. Remember, Brazil is 54% African descent, but being 54% African descent, they are run completely by European looking Brazilian Portuguese. Now, the Portuguese was very, very sick with what they did. All right. She says she's a dancer and actress, right? But she's a dancer and actress, kind of the same, like in the mode that Nicki Minaj is a dancer and actress, right? In dancing, Naya Justino have more talent than Nicki Minaj because she can samba. And samba, that's some footwork for your behind. Actually, it is footwork for the behind. Now that I'm thinking about it, if black women learn to samba, they be as thin as she, or as shapely as she, right? But if you notice, the Portuguese embed the same and continue to do that, the same thing for successful black women, which is to denigrate their color to others, even though others see it as beautiful, and not have a man around at all to give credit to even that, you being born. Right? It's often said that, well, I'll give credit to my mama for being born. Well, if the father didn't put no seed in the mother, you still wouldn't have been born. Right? So if a man just have sex and pulls out or wear a condom, then nobody is born. Understand that. I don't care what the heck the mama do. If she ain't getting none of that seed from the man, then nobody is born. I'm going to put it to you this way. If you go into a lab, if you go into a laboratory and You take an egg and put it in a test tube. Ain't nothing happening, and you want to in vitro fertilization that egg. Can't nothing happen to it until they find the seed of a man to put inside that egg. Period. So no, women cannot mysteriously just have a baby out of nowhere. They were fed that Roman Catholic virgin birth thing. That's a myth. And out of the mouths of white people to get black women stuck on stupid about themselves and cause them to exalt themselves above the Almighty, the Most High. All right, and thinking that the black woman can exalt herself above the man and men who created all that she enjoys, so that she can with ease forget that they've ever done anything for her, even when they become the president of the dang United States of America. All right, this whole thing was to let blacks know, keep them mindful of where they stand as far as these white Portuguese are. And if you notice, it's about a slave that is in love. It's a soap opera, and y'all know what soap operas are in the United States, about a slave in love with her master, with the white master. They don't portray black love in Brazil. They don't portray black people in Brazil in magazines or anything else. That's what made this story so big. As a matter of fact, in Brazil, the only people they portray in the magazines, because it's their standard of beauty, is this. All right? This is what they portray in Brazil as their standard of beauty. Now, trust me, most of these mulatto and white women have all kind of plastic surgery done to enhance their physical features. All right? So you got this, and they portray this. So you'll find this in a magazine. But this is what's more disturbing, because they don't even do it that much here. All right? But in Brazil, they promote women as sexual tools and sexual tools only. All right? In a relationship with a black man, any woman is elevated by being with a black man because of generally how we treat women in a relationship. All right, but most black men, and many now, they're not going to have that suffer that bull where the woman can think she's the boss over the man. All right, we're not going to tolerate you thinking you could be equal to us either. So you could take that crap and go home. However, we've always treated our woman with dignity and respect, and that having our child and carrying our child deserved that. The black woman that did that, the black woman that understood that we were their head, we revered them for that, and that's what we used to call a strong black woman. These black women right now, they're not crap. They're not strong. They can't suffer anything. They can make a man suffer. That's about it. And I don't call that strength. Strength is the ability to build with. And a black woman cannot build with no black man. She'll want to be the head. And as the head, everything that she touches is destroyed. And I've proven that in so many videos before this one. Statistically, empirically, and by their behavior. All right, so here's more on this Justina. Now, she saw her mom and was so happy and praying on her knees, right? So we're going to hear from this dude in a minute. I just want y'all to see his picture, right? And you see the comments. It was pretty unusual to see black people in the media. And this black woman never thought she would see a black person in the media. Because the Portuguese do not put dark-skinned women in the media. And it is done on purpose. Right? And so the Global Laser clip, this is the clip. This is what her mama is praying to Jesus and proud of. That clip right there. All right. And me, what I see is a glorified stripper. All right. Basically, this is what white dudes and black dudes go to the strip club and pay to see. If she bring that up here, when she said dancer, she bring that up here, she would be a glorified stripper. And she think that the backlash came because of the color of her skin, right? A gangster from the city of God came out against her. All right. Now you can see what came from white people and what came from black people. And she said racism hurt it most of all, right? And she said that racism wasn't just from white people, but it came from black people too. Now, this is where she needs to slap herself in the face and knock her own teeth out with the hand she brushing them tears back from. Alright? Because all the racism that was promoted was white people. The black people were mad at you is because the only thing that you put up in the media is stereotypes. Now, and they can't say this, but in my research, understanding with the people in the city of God is a place where they don't play. All right. And what the city of God is that's where all the drug dealers, the gangbangers, and all of that hang out. They've been getting guns from the police. A lot of police corruption and stuff like that. They cook their cocaine and everything there. They cut it, cook it. They turn it into crack and add adrenaline to it. Oh yeah, I've been doing my research about Brazil's in the favelas, and they call it the city of God because that's the last place on earth God is. And the reason why that is the Portuguese left all the poor blacks there to fend for themselves. Alright, and then it got out of control, and now they're even too rough for the police. So much so that when the police get ready to do a raid, they put it in the paper 2 weeks before the raid is due. Alright, so the only people that get caught up in a raid was people that was too dumb to read, or somebody that disobeyed the leadership when they said get out of there, the raid is tomorrow, or they were too greedy. Alright, but she don't understand, just like black women don't understand and black people don't understand. Black people here cannot be racist. Racist thing happened to us. You cannot call somebody that is angry for being unjustly harmed, deprived, kept down, unjustly incarcerated, lied on, cheated, ripped off. A person that gets angry because you did that to them, because you hated the color of their skin, you can't now call them racist because they hate you for doing that to them because of the color of their skin. Right? She got where she was because, one, the guy in the red was her boyfriend, so she's sleeping with a white man to continue on the promotion of the degradation to dark-skinned black people in Brazil. All right, she was a slave mother, showing that a dark-skinned black woman is in love with the white Brazilian slave master, the Portuguese, right? And they came and took everything ethnic that turned out to be something big, say capoeira, was started by the Angolan Africans to mask Kung Fu in a dance style. Because you know Kung Fu came out of Africa. The Chinese just made it into what we know it today. But it originated in Africa, went to India, and then from India to China, and then Chinese started looking at all kind of animals and kind of expanded expanded the term. All right. So right now, this woman is stuck on stupid, and I don't feel sorry for her. She has a problem. This picture is a bigger problem for Nayara Justino than even she realizes, and other black women and other women in Brazil like her. This picture is bigger than what she realizes. In her first comments, it was about how, as remember, I said it before. She says, and they're racist against black women. No, they're racist against the black men in Brazil, the dark-skinned men. All right, is because she can have the freedom to date a white man, but in Brazil, it is really, let a black man try to date a white woman that's not from the United States. Let a Brazilian try to date a white woman in Brazil. Let that try to happen. Let her be pure Portuguese. All right, that relationship will never see the light of day in the media. You understand? They don't put stuff like that in the media. So this picture was her first problem. All right, but this picture is deep. It goes back deeper. We'll have more on this in a minute. This picture was her biggest problem. All right, because they look at this and see this Brazilian, really dark-skinned black woman. So you got this beautiful woman that was made by a black man and a black woman, and now she's going to make all that beauty go away, that natural black beauty go away by marrying this white man. Right? Now, y'all say, well, is it color? It ain't about color. It is about color. It always been about color. And the people that say that are the people that learn to hate themselves and hate their color, because that's what we were taught to do. It's always been about color to white men. So it should be about maintaining our color to black men. All right. The woman in there, she's considered mulatto. Right? And now she's explaining they are a striking couple. Her mama used to tell her that you should marry a white man to improve your race. Her grandma used to tell my mother that you should marry a white man to improve the race. Who told them? Not the granddad, not any men. This kind of mess has been going on from generation of black woman to generation of black woman to generation of black woman, period. Now, let's get back to capoeira. It was a fight style developed by the men in order to protect their woman, because the Portuguese were very cruel, and they protected themselves as best they could, open-handed, in open-hand fighting. Right? And the Portuguese feared them for this. All right. Now, this woman here says that this thing continues to this day. Right? Here is the problem. Remember the guy I said we were going to get back to? Check him out.
And the painting portrays the actual story of Brazil. So you have a picture of the dark black-skinned grandmother. She has her hands in the air. Next to her, seated, is her mulatta daughter. She obviously had a relationship with a white man, so her daughter is progressively lighter skinned. Next to the mulatta daughter is the Portuguese immigrant. He's white. And in the mulatta daughter's arms is the white son. So after 2 to 3 generations, the blackness of the family has completely disappeared. And so the black grandmother is giving thanks to God, like, thank you for moving this black stain from my family.
Yeah. All right. Y'all hear that? Now, here's the deep part. Here's the deep part. And I thought about this, and I'm glad to be redoing this as I thought about this. I keep saying that the white people are recessive. To be white is a recessive trait because you don't have melanin. Right? Nothing, no human being or many mammals or animals cannot survive that walk on earth many cannot survive without melanin. White people cannot survive if they didn't have any melanin in them. And remember the last video I had, as in what the sun think is beautiful, right? So I'm gonna try to put that in the description box. If y'all don't see it in the description box, please somebody write in the notes to remind me to put it there. What the sun considers beautiful, right? All right, so basically it should be the opposite. You should be trying to be with a black man to try to put the melanin, keep the melanin in your skin, or put the melanin back in all races. All right, the melanin from the black man heals all, and black women, the black man with the black woman keeps the melanin strong, right? Now, as you see here in this picture, black women killed off the black race, can kill off the whole entire black race through this process. So, this woman says, white with white, Indian with Indian, black with black, color doesn't matter, right? She says that is because of her choice. But color does matter. Alright, it's because she is on the path of wiping out the race, the black race in Brazil. As the beauty that she has, she's going to wipe that out totally. She's on her way to wiping it out totally with that mindset. Is because the Portuguese taught her that it didn't matter because she has choices. But the black man in Brazil does not. So color probably does matter to him. Because he could see that he and his gene pool will be wiped out intentionally by the white man through the black woman. So here are my final thoughts. This Nayara Justino and women like her are brainwashed. Period. They're as brainwashed as the swirlers are in the U.S. Alright? They choose white men because they're sick in the head. Alright? Now, there are maybe a few that choose out of whatever, but that's only because the availability of white men intentionally done by white men. Alright, all the black women that I know that chose the white men chose to do it to get their come ups, and it didn't have anything about legacy or their race or anything. Alright, and it don't matter to most black women in other countries who are bleaching their skin and stuff. This is how sick it is. Black women have learned to hate themselves and their skin so much. And black men, we don't hate ourselves. We ain't bleaching our skin to get with a white woman. We just want to, if we want to screw one, we just like play up to them. Black women think, and we do not think by being with a white woman that we're elevating anything. Alright, whereas black women think by that she arrived somewhere. She's the only one that thinks she's arrived somewhere by being with a white man. Black men get with a white woman when they get money is because they've been messed off by so many black women on the way to their money that they're like, oh, now that I got it, okay, I'm not going to fool with somebody that don't know how to deal with money. Remember, the net worth of a black woman in the United States is $5, even though she makes a lot of money. And I put this monster fish, and I wanted to mention this. There's this show I saw called Monster Fish, and this dude went to the indigenous people to get this electric eel because they're able to hold the electric eel in their hands, and he saw it He saw it for himself. It's a documentary show that come on the Animal Channel, right? And basically, indigenous people that stay away from white people remain indigenous. And they're able to do things that white people can't figure out. We used to be like that. And we need to stop selling ourselves short. And our women need to stop selling out. With that said, I'm out.